Ask any psychiatrist about the hardest part of their day, and they'll describe a difficult trade-off. Patient care increasingly shares the schedule with the effort required just to keep the administrative side of the practice functional. The friction points are constant. Insurance lines are busy, prior authorization requests accumulate daily, and the staffing market is volatile enough that a front desk coordinator might leave for a hospital role just as they finish their training. This creates a measurable backlog for the patient who waited 67 days for an opening. A single administrative error can be the difference between getting care and missing the appointment entirely. The data shows where that time is lost. On average, a psychiatric practice handles 39 prior authorizations every week. At 24 minutes per request, that accounts for 13 hours of staff time extracted from every single work week. Across the industry, these administrative costs have climbed to $1.3 billion annually. For patients, the impact is even more direct. Psychiatry and behavioral health report a 42. By 2038, the U.S. is projected to face a shortage of more than 43,000 adult psychiatrists. Because of this gap, only about 18% of sampled psychiatrists are currently accepting new patients at all. This scarcity shows up in the calendar. The median wait for an in-person appointment is now 67 days. Telepsychiatry offers some relief, but even then, patients are waiting an average of 6 weeks to be seen. To put that in context, psychiatry now has the longest wait times in medicine. It takes longer to see a psychiatrist than it does to see a dermatologist, even though dermatology is notoriously backed up. We have a system where demand is soaring, yet the available clinical hours are being consumed by low-value administrative tasks instead of patient care. One approach to managing this complexity is a structural shift in how the workload is distributed, moving towards a model that separates clinical care from administrative labor. Instead of relying on a volatile local hiring market, some practices are partnering with Staffingly to integrate a dedicated remote virtual medical assistant into their workflow. These assistants are specifically trained for behavioral health. They arrive familiar with HIPAA protocols, various EHR systems, and specific documentation required for psychiatric medication renewals. This model addresses the turnover issue directly. While replacing a local staff member can cost up to 9 months of their salary, Staffingly provides built-in redundancy with backup floaters to prevent any gaps in coverage. The human team is supported by an AI layer designed to increase the speed and accuracy of these repeatable tasks. The AI handles the routing, matching each task to the specialist with the right bandwidth. It monitors turnaround times in real time and identifies patterns in insurance denials, allowing the team to adjust workflows based on actual outcome data. This combination of specialized oversight and algorithmic routing creates an administrative layer that operates consistently, even if the local staffing market changes. While the operational benefits are clear, the shift is ultimately supported by the direct financial comparison between the two staffing models. Consider the fully loaded cost of an in-house hire. When you combine the base salary with benefits, payroll taxes, and the average cost of recruitment and turnover, a single position represents an annual expense of over $60,000. A dedicated Staffingly VMA provides the same 45 hours of weekly coverage for $21,600 per year. That represents a 64% reduction in overhead, recovering nearly $40,000 per position that can be reinvested back into the practice. Implementation is designed for speed. Rather than a weeks-long hiring cycle, this model can be fully deployed within 48 to 72 hours. For practices handling sensitive records, the infrastructure meets high security standards, including SOC 2 Type 2 and HIT Trust certifications, ensuring data remains protected. Stabilizing the administrative side of a practice is a practical foundation for expanding patient care. By handling the business mechanics efficiently, you can focus on the clinical work that patients are waiting for. Start your 2-week risk-free pilot with Staffingly today.